Hi, I'm Jeff Ludy, the owner of Houston Window Experts. I'm so glad you're here watching this video with me today. I'm going to talk about who makes the best wood window. You need a wood window for your house? Do you have wood windows now? Maybe you're remodeling, maybe you're building, I don't know, but let's talk for a minute about the best wood windows of 2022. Hey, if you're in the Houston area, you're looking for a great window company, I'd sure love to get a chance to meet you, talk about your project. I'm standing in our showroom here where we have over a dozen brands of beautiful windows and doors. Maybe we have something that works for you. If you don't live in this area, but you're looking for a great window company, check out jeffslist.com. I have a list there of great window companies all over the country. People I know do a really good job. So the question again, is it Pella? Is it Andersen? Is it Marvin? Who makes the best wood window? And I want to kind of just go through a few things and tell you what the answer is. The bottom line is that the answer may be dependent on your budget, what style of window you're looking for, and what part of the country you live in, because not all these products are available to everyone. Now, have you heard of Pella? Of course you've heard of Pella. Pella's been around since 1925. They're probably the most recognized brand name in the United States when it comes to windows and doors. They're based out of Pella, Iowa, which is where they get their name from. Started as a small company, mom and pop, where they used to make screens, roller screens for other products, got into their own wood making windows, and then of course now they make wood windows with an aluminum exterior. You want some kind of protection on the outside of your wood window. If you're replacing your wood windows now, there's a chance that you're replacing them because they are rotting, deteriorating, falling apart, they swell, they won't open, they won't close, they're energy inefficient. This new generation of wood windows now is going to incorporate solutions to most of those problems. You get the beauty of wood on the inside, which I'm about to show you, but then you also get the nice aluminum exterior, which is going to preserve and protect that wood. Because if you get water on wood, you know what happens. It doesn't last very long. You have to constantly be updating and treating that product, painting it over and over to keep it from happening. If you have a wooden front door, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just have to keep refinishing it. With Pella, you're going to get a really great warranty on this, and you're going to have aluminum on the outside. This comes in over a couple dozen colors, so you have plenty of choices to choose from there. You don't want to paint this aluminum, right? You want to keep it from the factory there finished because they do a powder coat, which is really nice. On the inside here, you'll see that you have actually real natural wood. It comes in different species. You get some choices for that. You get the beautiful authentic wood interior grids, if you like those grids. If you notice, I don't have any on the bottom. For my sample, you can do whatever you want. You get a real traditional looking log. If you're trying to go with a real, traditional look, you've got it in this product. And this is their Architect series. It's a beautiful product. It works really well. It is a double hung, meaning at the top and the bottom both open, and you can slide this down. That way, if you decided you wanted to get some ventilation from the top, you can do it there as well. These tilt in. Why do they tilt in? Well, because if they broke, that's the way you'd replace them. So I can tilt this in, I can pull it out, I can swap it and put a different product in here if something breaks. Now, while I've got it open, I want to show you. See, here's the wood, okay? And then there's the aluminum. You can see how the aluminum covers over the wood. Pretty fancy. A couple of little concealed pins here. I like that. You see these pins? In a minute when I show you the Marvin, remember that I showed you how these pins operate here. These pins are what releases it from this track. And for me to access those, I just open the wood a little bit, reach my finger in here behind there, see where I put my finger there, and then I can tilt those to open that up. Now this is a great product. One of the things that I do want to point out about it though, is that this product is a roll-formed aluminum exterior. Roll-formed meaning that it's a thin piece of aluminum and actually have rollers, and they roll it to form it to these shapes that they have here. Extruded aluminum, which is really thick aluminum, heavier gauge aluminum, is not roll-formed, and it's going to be a little more durable than this. It's going to last longer than this. They do make a product, it's called the Reserve series, which is one tier above this series, that actually comes with extruded aluminum. So it's not like they don't make it, they know how to make it. It's a good product, it's a little bit better than this. It will cost you more money, and that is the Reserve series aluminum. Now, if we move down this way a little bit further, we're getting into just, this is still Pella, right? But a little bit different style. If you notice here that the styles on these are different. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see here, I've actually have more frame than I do on this window. I have more frame than I do on this window, or at least it gives that appearance, that illusion. And the truth is that it's almost identical. But the difference is that with this product, which costs a little more money than that does, I've got this full frame system here where all of this is the same color, whereas here you can see that I actually have a different color between the frame and the sash. And you ask the question, well, why is that? Well, this saves you a little bit of money. And that's why we're talking about what's the best wood window. Even within brands, they have different levels of tiers of pricing, etc. Well, this one, instead of having that tilt mechanism like I showed you a minute ago, this is still wood inside, right? Some of the same things. This uses what's called a compression jam liner. You can see how I'm compressing that in there. This is what holds compression right on the left and on the right to hold all this together. So if I open this window, for example, if I wanted to tilt this one, there are no levers or buttons back here, no pins for me to slide. I squeeze this in, and then I just pull it towards me. And I do the same thing on this side, and it pops out like that. See this little groove right here? That groove right there engages into that compression jam liner, and that's what holds this in place. Still aluminum on the outside, roll formed aluminum, wood on the inside, but I don't have that beautiful look, not quite as polished, not as finished. In fact, if you can stand right there, I want to show you the difference. Can you see the difference from where you are? See how this one actually I have a wood cover here, okay? That makes that look more finished, a little more expensive for that reason. This one doesn't. This one has that plastic, some kind of a plastic type of compression jam liner, and therefore you're going to see that. And that's not going to come in a lot of different colors, whereas with this, you see I could actually stain or paint that to match my window, whatever color I'm looking at. So Pella has that style. This is called their Lifestyle. This is the Lifestyle series, and so it's going to save you a little bit of money. It's going to have fewer choices, fewer options, and it's not going to be quite as nice and not quite as luxurious. Now you can come over to here and you realize that now we've kind of switched into a wood window that's a little more contemporary. See how this is a little more contemporary. Look, and this is their contemporary product. So they have, traditional product, then they have this contemporary stuff where you get narrower profiles, you get cleaner lines, you get more 90-degree sharp edges, you don't have all of that fancy detail like you saw on the other products. This one happens to be a casement window, which is what most people end up using when it comes to a more contemporary look. I have a lock I unengage there, this fold down handle, and then you can see how as I crank this open, the window opens to the outside. It does nest as well. I can fold this down and put it away. So I got a nice clean flush look there when I'm done. This comes in different colors. You don't have to have that shiny one. The screens, as you notice, are on the inside because it is a casement window, which I love that because that means that my screen's not exposed to the outside where it's getting all the elements on it. My screen's gonna stay clean. And also from the outside, you don't see a screen blocking the view. Everything looks consistent and smooth and beautiful from the outside. So this is their contemporary product. And so that's another choice from Pella. Now this isn't all that Pella has. Pella has a lot of different options for wood, and I think you probably would find something that you like within any of the Pella family. Again, this is still roll-formed aluminum, unlike the Reserve series that they offer, which is extruded aluminum. These are all good. These all come with a great warranty. There's no reason for you to be concerned about it, but I'm just pointing out some of the differences to you. Okay, so let's talk about Andersen, right? You've heard of Andersen. Here's an Andersen product. This is the Andersen E-Series. E-Series is, in my opinion, their best product. This is going to be an extruded aluminum. It's going to come in about 60 different colors on the outside. They have nearly a dozen wood species for the inside, and you're going to have just a really nice, attractive product. It looks a lot from the outside like what you saw. This is locked. Let me unlock that real quick. It looks a lot from the outside like what you just saw on the product over there from Pella. I did notice here though that you do see how the weather stripping does show up a little bit. You do notice here how this jam track over here on for the top sash is not the same color. And so there are some things about it that make it an imperfect window. I don't know if there is such a thing as a perfect window, but this is a really good product from a very reputable, trusted brand, which is Andersen. Again, a little bit different than what you see up there in the front on that other series. This actually still has a little bit of that liner right there. You can still see that that's not going to be stainable or paintable. So I do like the Pella for that reason, because on the Pella one you can stain right up to almost to the very edge, where this one you can still see a little bit more of it. Now I do like their lock mechanism. On the Pella one, remember how I showed you when you wanted to tilt it, you either had to press the compression jam liner out to the way, or you had to take your finger and go back there and pull on those little tabs. On this one, you actually just push right here, push forward on these two latches at the same time, and you can see that tilts it forward. If you notice here on the right, how me moving this on each one of these. So there's a mechanism here that comes across there inside of the wood, you can't see it, and it pulls that in. I think that's kind of cool that you can actually do that right on their lock set. Really cool stuff. And of course, they also make a little more traditional looking lock if you like a traditional looking lock. This one I like because it's more of a flush lock. I like kind of how that looks, nice and flush, clean across there. Maybe you do, maybe you don't like it, because from the outside you can actually see your locks. I think it's kind of cool. I think it gives it kind of a nostalgic look, but that's up to you to decide. Okay, so then let's make our way around over here. Skip that window, that's aluminum, not wood. Let me show you another brand. You probably haven't heard of this company. This is called Windsor. Windsor Windows and Doors is based out of West Des Moines, Iowa, not too far from Pella, Iowa, actually not too far from where the Pella products are made. And if you notice here, it's just kind of like that Pella and just like the Andersen. You don't see the compression liner because it doesn't have one. This actually sits in a track like the others. You can see that it's all fully aluminum on the outside. One of the things about this product that I like is that it is an extruded aluminum product. This is that heavy gauge aluminum. I also like that you don't see a different color on the outside here. This color is going to be whatever color your frame is. Okay, so that's kind of an up or an advantage, if you will, over what you saw a minute ago on that Pella series and also what you saw on the Andersen. So the color is all matching there 100%. And just so you know, I want to make sure you have all the context here. This is a two-tone frame, which the other companies can also make. We chose a white frame here with a black sash. So if that's confusing you in any way, this could all be black, this could all be white. It could be whatever of the colors. They have about 60 colors as well. But extruded aluminum, really good grid options. You can see here how you can see the color is always going to be the same as the frame choices that you made. If you look at the inside too, you can also see it's kind of comparable to the one on Pella when it comes to this jam liner here. It has wood that wraps around and goes all the way to the very edge. I think they actually do a little bit better job. This is not the reason to buy or not buy this window, but they do a really good job, and I think almost a little bit better than the other products you saw as far as giving you the concealment here that you need for this to write in. What they don't do as well, in my opinion, and they're a great window company, I'm not knocking it, but you know, I don't really care for these tabs showing on the top here. You know, with the Pella, if you remember, you could put your fingers back here and pull on that. With the Andersen, it was built into the locking system. This one, they sit right here on top. They operate really well. There's nothing wrong with them. I think you'll find that you're really happy with it. But I wish it looked a little cleaner here. I wish you did not see that. I think that would be maybe in the next version of this product they make, you'll see that. If you notice here too, if we can get a close-up of this, you'll see how the aluminum is really thick. See how really thick that aluminum is? That's that extruded aluminum I was telling you about. It's really, really good. It's very durable, and I think you're going to like that. One more thing I want to point out about this window is that when you do close the lock on this, you don't see it from the outside. So if that bothered you about the Andersen, on this one, when you look across the plane here, you'll notice that it's gone. So that's pretty cool as well. While I'm talking about this, one of the things that I think is worth noting that not all the window companies that I'm talking about will do this, but this company does, is this company will make other products that look virtually identical, they're not identical, but they look a lot alike to this, where you can put a vinyl product somewhere on your house next to a wood product on your house like this, and they still look comparable. If you stand right there, I'll point it out to you. Here is their vinyl product that is the equivalent product to the one I'm showing you over there. And if you notice, it has the same style of grids. Of course, this is not two-tone. You're not going to get the two-tone. You're not going to get a white frame with a black sash. But so you can see the two and how that works. Notice how that really does complement this well. So if this was on the front of the house, and then at the top and on the front and the bottom or whatever, but then on the sides or on the back, I need to save a little money, or maybe the garage or an apartment or somewhere else, that's an option for you as well. Now, Marvin, have you heard of Marvin? Marvin's based out of War Road, Minnesota, which is 6 miles south of the Canadian border. Very cold. They make a great product for cold weather. It works pretty much anywhere in the country. And I've got videos, by the way, on all of these. And if you haven't noticed, we've been putting little links up there as we go to kind of just make sure you know about those videos. We have a video breaking down each of these products in more detail. But the Marvin does an excellent job. I mean, look how the color is matching all the way through, like you saw over there on that Windsor product. You don't see a different color coming through here. This is also an extruded aluminum, so you've got extruded aluminum. Lots and lots and lots of choices for exterior color. Lots of wood options for the interior. All of these things are pretty cool. They really do a great job on it. On the inside on this window, you notice we have this painted black. So everything is painted black, even all the way up to the edge. You do not see their track whatsoever because it's all black inside of there. Isn't that pretty cool? On their lock, it's a very simple lock. It looks real old school. It's got that little turnstile lock. I'll unlock it for you. I'll raise it up. You notice, so this is pretty cool. When I close it, watch it, watch it, watch it. Automatic locking, positive action lock on this. As soon as you close your window, boom, the window's locked. You know what's cool about that? You don't have to worry, did I lock my windows? If you can set your alarm at night, it means that your windows are closed. If your windows are closed, your windows are locked. That's pretty cool. Now here's another cool thing about it. There's a little button right there in the middle. If I wanted to tilt this one forward, I push on that button and I turn the lock further and it disengages those pins. So one lock operates both sides. It's really cool, huh? Don't you like that? This is why you're gonna pay a little more for a Marvin window than you are the other brands we talked about today. So is there anything wrong with the Marvin window? Is there anything I don't like about the Marvin window? The price maybe, it's a little high. But one thing I want to point out to you, you might observe this now that I pointed out. If you're looking through here and you look at that beautiful black window, do you see that kind of grayish color? See that? See that kind of a grayish whatever? Well, that's the back side of the wooden frame. They're not able to get the paint in there to deal with that. If you come over here and you look at this style here on the Windsor product, you'll see that it has the natural finished wood back there as well. But I can get a little bit closer. I can get, with my paint, I can get right up to the edge where I'm not able to get right up to the edge on this because it's a taller, it's about more like a 3/8 instead of an 1/8. If that's gonna bother you, then the only way to fix that is to not order any of these windows, and instead we would have to have some actually handmade windows made for you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to put up with that. Other than that, I would call this a perfect window. Because it is, it's darn near perfect, and I really like it, but it is obviously kind of expensive. So what's the best window for you? There's one other thing you should consider, right? Because we did talk about how these are all made, and there's price to that. This is going to be the most expensive window I showed you. The Andersen signature, the Andersen E-Series and the Pella, the very first one I showed you, or even the Reserve, they're going to be pretty close to each other in the same price. The Lifestyle series is less expensive. It's about 20% less expensive from Pella, so that's pretty good. But probably the best overall price point of all the windows I happen to sell is going to be this Windsor. The Windsor is going to be probably about 40%, maybe 50% less the price than what you would pay for the Marvin. So it depends on what you're after. One thing you should also consider is, and this is where you need a professional, you need an expert to talk to you about it, is the frame depth of your walls. If your house is made out of a 2x4 construction, then a lot of these windows will not work there because they're very deep. If you notice here, this window frame on this thing itself is of darn near 6 inches. So if you have 2x4 construction, that's going to be a problem for you. You need 2x6 or 2x8 construction for a lot of these windows to work. There is an exception to that. On this product here by Windsor, they make another series that's designed specifically for replacement operations where we spend most of our time as a window company. This is also their deep frame, but they also make another one that's a shallower frame. You get all the same benefits, but it's designed to be for projects like what a 2x4 construction home would be. If you have a 2-story house, almost always the bottom is going to be 2x6 construction, so that shouldn't be a problem for you. But if you don't have a 2-story house, that's something you're going to want to check. You're going to want to make sure that you have the right depth in order to accommodate that. One closing remark on this, one of the things that is common about all of these window brands is the glass. They all use Cardinal glass. I'll put a link up here to a discussion about glass because I think it's really worth you considering that. Cardinal glass is the best, and that's really important because if you think about it, all these things, even though they're important, we just discussed, your window's going to be at least 90% glass, right? So sometimes we talk about color, we talk about look, we talk about function, and we forget to talk about glass. Glass is important, and if you have Cardinal glass in your window or in your door, thumbs up to you, you're going to love it. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you live in the Houston area, please let me help you with your project. If you live somewhere else, check out jeffslist.com. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you again real soon.